G'day guys, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitar Zero to Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Everlong by the Foo Fighters, which is one of their best songs in my opinion, and it sounds awesome on the acoustic guitar. So for the basics of this song, you will need to get into drop D tuning. So that means you need to take your low E down to a D. So once you have your low E down to a D, you're good to go. Now, if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarzerotohero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you want to improve on your guitar in general, then sign up to Guitar Zero to Hero Premium, which is my complete step-by-step guitar course. All right, let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with the intro/verse, and it's actually quite simple when we break it down. So there's only 3 chord shapes we need to know. For the first chord shape, it's a D major 7. So it's just a power chord like this. So index finger on the 9th fret of the 5th string, ring and pinky on the 11th frets of the 4th and 3rd strings. And we have that open 6th string. So this is D major 7. The next chord shape is B sus2. So we just move our index finger up 1 string. So it's now pushing down on the 6th and 5th strings. And this is B sus2. Our next chord is G sus2. So it's the same shape, just shifted down at 7th and 5th frets. And then we go back up to our B sus2 for this particular progression. So the strumming pattern is actually quite easy. It's all down strums at 8th notes. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now the trickiest part is going to be the accents. Let's just talk about how long each chord is held out for first, and then we'll get to the accents. So the first 2 chords, the D major 7 and the B sus2, are held out for 2 bars each. And then we have our G sus2 for 1 bar and back up to the B sus2 for 2 bars. So if we're just doing all down strums at 8th notes, it sounds like this. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 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 2, and 3, and 4. But that obviously sounds really boring, so let's add the accents, which is where the magic happens. So let's start with the first 2 chords, D major 7 and the B sus2. We have a long strumming pattern that is held out for 2 bars. Now the accents are shown highlighted below. Now when we accent, we're going to strum the whole chord. But when we're not accenting, we're just going to focus on the bass note of whatever chord we're playing, or the 6th string, essentially. So you'll see the accents below. I'll count them out as I play it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. So notice how on those accents, I'm strumming the whole chord. When I'm not accenting, I'm just hitting the 6th string. So we apply that to the first 2 chords, and that will sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now when we go to our G sus2, we change our strumming pattern. So now we only accent on the 2 and 4 beat. And this strumming pattern is just 1 bar long. So it's going to sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when we shift back up to the B sus2, we're going to play that strumming pattern twice. 1 and 2 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We piece all of that together and then we get what is the main riff, and it sounds great. So just take it slow, be sure to accent on the right beats, and then you'll be left with this. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I'd highly encourage that you practice this song along with the metronome. Now, I'm going to play along with the metronome here at 80 BPM, and the clicks will occur on the 1, 2, 3, and 4 beat. So that's at a slow speed, and obviously as you get more comfortable with it, just keep turning it up in 5 BPM to 10 BPM increments until you get to the full speed, which is at about 140, which will sound like this. So that's it for the verse. Next, let's move to the pre-chorus. Now we're going to be playing a whole bunch of octave shapes here. So what an octave shape is the same as a power chord that you're used to generally seeing in rock music, but we won't be playing the fifth. So it's just the root note and the octave above it. So for this starting octave, it's 4th fret of the 5th string and 6th fret of the 3rd string. Now what you want to do is actually mute the middle note in between there. So with your index finger, as you push down that 4th fret, just rest it on top of all the other strings, so that when you strum this chord, only those 2 notes ring out. But also, we want to leave that open 6th string, like that. So we're going to be strumming this for 3 strums. And again, we are just going to be strumming with all down strums here up until a point which I'll indicate later. So 1 and 2, and then we shift this shape up to 5th and 7th, and we strum this another 3 times. Then we go up 2 frets, strum this 3 times, and then we go up another 2 frets, strum this another 3 times, and then for this next section, we're going to strum it once, but then slide up 1 fret. So that's 3 and on the next 4 beat we strum it again. So 3 and 4. So that ascending octave riff sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And at a faster speed. So after that last down strum, we're then going to shift to an A5 shape. So you'll just slide your pinky finger on this 3rd fret down to the 9th fret, and your index finger will now bar across the 7th fret of the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. Like that. When we're going to strum this chord with an up, up, down, down, up, down, up. And that will end this first line of tab, which will sound like this. Now you play that line of tab through twice. The second line of tab is almost the same, except we're not playing that A5 shape. After that 12th fret octave, we just then jump into the chorus. So the pre-chorus sounds like this. Okay, so next we get to the chorus. Now there's 3 lines of chords here, and I'll show them in tabs so it's just sort of easier to visualize. So we're going to start with a B5. So it's the same as that A5, but just up at 9th and 11th frets. Now our strumming pattern is going to be up, up, down, down, up, down. Now it won't confuse you too much, but the reason why we start with an up is because all these chord changes occur on the end beat after the 4, but it's just simpler if I indicate it the way I've shown it below. But we're going to be playing that chord, and then we're going to be going to G5, so it's the same shape but just down at 5th and 7th, and then we'll go to a D5. So it's just a D5 power chord, but we have that open 6th string as well, and we're going to play that for 2 strumming patterns. So the first line of chords will just sound like this. Up, up, down, down, up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, up, down, down, up, down. That first line of chords is played through twice. Now the second line of chords is almost the same, except after the D5, we're going to go to an A5. Now that A5 also has an extra up strum at the end. So it's actually completing the bar here. So the final A5, up, up, down, down, up, down, up. So the second line of chords in total. And then for the final line of this chorus, we just go to a G5, which is just our index finger bowing across the 5th frets of the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings. And we're going to play this for that strumming pattern, that simple one that we had in the verse, which is just accented on the 2 and 4 beat. We're playing that for 2 bars. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's it for the chorus, which sounds like this in total. And then we go back into the main riff. The next section we're going to learn is the final pre-chorus. So for this first line and tab, we're basically going to be playing that ascending octave line, but adding an extra down strum to that 10th and 12th fret octave. So it completes the full bar, as opposed to going to that A5 chord. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that is played through 4 times. And then the second line tab is almost the same, except we cut out that last strum because that's going to take us into the final chorus. So the final pre-chorus. Okay, so now we get to the last chorus, which is basically identical to the other choruses, except for the last line. So when we go to this G5, our strumming pattern is going to change a little bit. First of all, we're going to be playing for 4 bars here. The strumming pattern is going to go like this. Down, 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 up, down, down, down. And we're going to play that 3 times. And then for the 4th bar, we return to that simple strumming pattern where we accent on the 2 and 4. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then we end the song with our D major 7 chord. So I'll just play the final line of tab here for the last chorus. And those are all the parts that you need to learn for this song. It's actually quite a simple song when you break it down. The toughest part is just nailing those accents. But as I said, just practice along with a metronome and a slow speed, and then over time you'll understand where those accents are and your rhythm hand will just pick that up. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go. she sang. Breathe out so I can breathe you in, hold you in. And now I know you've always been out of your head, out of my head I sang. And I wonder when I sing along with you, if everything could ever feel this real forever, if anything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, you've gotta promise not to stop when I say when she sang. And I wonder when I sing along with you, if everything could ever feel this real forever, if anything could ever be this good again. The only thing I'll ever ask of you, you've gotta promise not to stop when I say Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here, or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.